Hello again. On August the 28th, India beat Pakistan at a cricket match. That evening, disturbances began on the streets of Leicester, a city in the English Midlands, where many people live whose origins lie in the Indian subcontinent. Indian Hindus clashed with Pakistani Muslims and things grew very ugly. The British media by and large ignored this because it doesn't tie in with the popular narrative that xenophobia and racist chants are something exclusive to white British people in this country. They are not, and some extremely offensive chanting was heard during the disturbances. In the description to this video, I give a link to a clip of film on YouTube which shows some of the scenes which have been witnessed in Leicester in recent days, because this has now been going on for 10 days and shows no signs at all of letting up. Every evening, gangs of Pakistanis and Indians gather to taunt each other and then fight. The police have tried issuing dispersal orders and talking to the crowds, but none of it makes any difference. The city is a simmering cauldron of national, religious and racial tension. The Indians are, of course, in the main Hindu and the Pakistanis Muslim. It was the Muslims who first brought religion into it by chanting praises of Allah, and this irritated the Hindus. Just why all this should be taking place in the streets of an English city is a fairly interesting point. If they wished to carry on in this way in, say, Kashmir, I would have not the slightest objection. But why must they do it in my country? What is happening is interesting too, for the light it sheds on the claim often made by white liberals that people born in Britain are as British as me, even if their parents came from India or Africa. This is patently untrue, because many of those involved in these nationalist riots were indeed born in this country, but their allegiance lies with India or Pakistan rather than Britain, as they make perfectly clear in their chants. So we have various young men of foreign allegiance fighting on the streets of one of our cities and defending the interests of the countries from which their parents came. An even more disturbing element of the whole business is that the police officers charged with restoring order also seem to be foreigners. Local news websites have covered the troubles in Leicester, even if the national newspapers and television are in general trying to ignore the situation. I give a link to a piece from the Leicester Mercury, written incidentally by somebody called Asha Patel. We read that Inspector Yaqub Ismail, commander for the East Leicester Police, which covers the area, said action would be taken. This really is exceedingly strange. Indians and Pakistanis are fighting on our streets, and this is reported by an Indian journalist who tells us that the police officer in charge is clearly also a foreigner. I wonder how he can even pretend to be even-handed and fair in dealing with this trouble when he is himself a Muslim and trying to separate Muslim and Hindu mobs. What a truly bizarre state of affairs to find in England. On another website, we read that Chief Superintendent Adam Slonecki from Leicestershire Police authorised temporary measures under sections 34 and 35 of the Antisocial Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act. Slonecki, spelt Slonecki, does not sound any more of an English name than Yaqub Ismail. How have we reached a situation in England that rival gangs of foreigners are battling it out on the streets night after night, a situation which is reported by a foreigner and which foreign police officers are in charge of sorting out? This all sounds monumentally strange, at least to me.